Buying a house can seem so overwhelming. What do you do first? What should you know? Who do you talk to? How do you even know if you're ready to buy? Let's look at 3 clear steps to buying a house for beginners. First, I want to give you a quick recommendation before we get into the 3 steps. Before you start, save up 3 to 6 months of living expenses as your emergency fund. At least 3 months if you're single, and ideally 6, especially if you have a family. Whatever expenses you currently have monthly, just multiply that by 3 or 6 and start saving up. Once you have that, then you can move on to the next required steps to buy your home. If your current expenses are $5,000 a month, then you would want to save at least $15,000. Keep that in a high-interest savings account. You can get over 4% in a savings account right now, the day this was filmed. Save up your emergency fund before you begin saving for your down payment. Here are the 3 required steps to purchase a home. Number 1, down payment and closing costs. Down payments are often the biggest hurdles for first-time homebuyers to overcome. What is a down payment? Well, it's the amount of money you pay out of pocket, out of your own personal funds, towards the purchase of your home. See, your down payment plus a home loan equals the price of your new home. There are many programs that can provide you with assistance in coming up with your down payment, especially if you are a first-time homebuyer. I will put a link in the description below. Click on that link, fill out a bit of information, and you'll be provided with a list of assistance options. Look through the list and see if you meet any of the criteria. Now, typically, you would need to come up with at least 5% of the purchase price for your down payment. If you are looking at purchasing a home priced at $650,000, then a 5% down payment would be $32,500. That would leave you with a balance of $617,500 left to pay on the home. And how do you get such a large amount? Well, financial institutions will lend you the money, often called a mortgage. You would pay that amount back over 30 years, of course, with interest. Now, you can always put more than 5% down. For example, I put 11% down on my home. Now, the bigger the down payment, the lower your monthly mortgage payment. If you need an inspiring plan to help you save, I would highly recommend Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University. I'll put information in the description below. Not only do you need funds for a down payment, but you will also have fees to pay. These fees are commonly known as closing costs, which can be at least 2% of the loan amount. So on a $650,000 home, that would be about $13,000. See, your down payment plus closing costs on a $650,000 home can be about $45,000. Now, closing costs cover the costs of the transaction and help pay for things like lender fees, application fee, title search fee, escrow fee, home appraisal fee, home inspection fee, taxes, and insurance. All these fees help to pay these providers who protect you and your home purchase from any unforeseen surprises, at least as many unforeseen surprises as possible. Now, these fees are most often paid up front. Occasionally, a lender may allow you to roll them into your home loan, but there may be limitations to that. This leads us to step 2. How do you get pre-qualified and pre-approved for a home loan? Now, every situation is different, and the only way for you to personally know if you're ready is to reach out to a lender to see what you can get pre-qualified or pre-approved for. Now, understand this, that should not cost you anything. Typically, it's free to find out that information. But let's define these 2 terms, pre-qualify and pre-approve. Pre-qualify is a general estimate on how much a lender will allow you to borrow. It gives you an idea of what price of home you can afford. In a sense, it's testing the waters to see if you're ready to take the next step or to pause and keep saving. You can talk to a lender about getting pre-qualified. You will need to provide them information on your income and your debts and allow them to do a soft credit check on you. Now, a soft credit check doesn't impact your credit score. Then the lender will provide you your likely interest rate and max amount you can borrow. This doesn't mean you are approved. You need to take the next step to do that, and you can initiate the pre-approval process instead or at the same time as the pre-qualification process. Now, pre-qualification is not a prerequisite for pre-approval, but it can make sense to do the one before the other. Now, pre-approval is when a lender digs deeper into your financial readiness and will need to verify your financial information. You will have to provide proof for the financial information you told them in the pre-qualification process. So, pre-qualification is self-reported financials, no documentation required. Pre-approval is where the lender needs to verify your financials, and that's where you provide documentation proof. Now, if you're serious and ready to purchase, you will want to get pre-approved for a loan. This is where a lender will ask you for the many documents to prove your financial fitness. They will ask you for your tax returns, your pay stubs, bank statements showing your balances, employment verification, and more. It's a lot of info and it can feel overwhelming and intrusive, but the lender wants to make sure you are in a financially healthy position to take on a home loan. And you will get a better interest rate if you have good credit and have less debt. Now, another way to think about the relationship between pre-qualification and pre-approval is like the interview process. See, you apply for a job and you're told there's going to be a first and a second interview. The first interview, it's not as in-depth. You may or may not be invited to come back to the second interview, and you may or may not agree to the second interview, even if you are invited. But the second interview digs a little deeper on whether you are a good fit for the position. It's after this interview where the decision to offer you the position is made. But an employer could also choose to skip the first interview and invite you directly to the second one. Just like pre-qualification, you can skip that step and go right to the pre-approval, but that's up to you. And most lenders, they would prefer it. Now, once you are pre-approved, you'll be provided with a pre-approval letter that is basically as good as cash. And your agent will use this letter when submitting offers on your behalf to purchase a home. Reach out to me and I can refer you to a great lender to get you started. Number 3, hire a real estate agent to represent you in the purchase of your home. Now, a real estate agent will walk with you through the entire transaction. Real estate agents only get paid when the transaction has completed and you have purchased the home. And you don't need to pay them up front. And typically the home buyer doesn't pay them, period. It's the seller and their agent that sets the commission price, and the seller's agent splits that commission with the buyer's agent. Though you could say that in the end, the buyer pays the commission if the seller has, nested those fees into the price of the home. But it is the seller and their agent who sets the commission price and the weight of the commission split. Now, if you don't hire your own agent and you talk directly to the seller's agent, the seller's agent would get paid 100% of the commissions because they would represent both the buyer, which is you, and the seller, and that is called dual agency. Now, that is legally allowed in California only if it's disclosed and consented to by the seller and buyer. But think about this. As a buyer, how loyal to you would an agent be who has worked with the sellers for potentially many months? Whose best interest would they have in mind? Now, dual agency can work in some circumstances, but most of the time, you likely want an exclusive agent going to bat for your best interests. Otherwise, you may be at a disadvantage in the transaction. You will want to find an agent you trust, has good communication, and will partner with you in finding the perfect home at the right price. They will help arrange showings where you will shop for homes by touring them. Your agent will take care of the logistics of getting you access to homes on a day and a time that works for you, and most of the time, they will walk through the homes with you. It doesn't make much sense to ask an agent to schedule showings before you are pre-approved for a home loan. Most agents might take you on, one showing before you are pre-approved, but after that, they will want to know you are serious and ready to buy. And you show that you are serious by getting pre-approved for a home loan. Otherwise, it's a waste of your time and their time to go on all these showings if you're not serious and not ready to buy. Searching for homes is a partnership with your agent. They will send you home options that meet your criteria. They can send you homes that are off the market, homes that are coming soon to the market, but they're not advertised to the public yet because the owners who are selling the homes just aren't quite ready for the general public to look at their homes yet, but they want agents to have access. Now, you may find a home online or that you drive by that you like. Then call your agent and ask them to schedule you a showing at that property. Now, when I purchased my home, I found it online and I reached out to my agent and asked them to schedule a showing and submit an offer. Sometimes you may see a home that meets your criteria before your agent does. And why? Because the market literally changes daily. Now, your real estate agent will not only help you find a great home, but they will advocate for you in negotiating the price for your home. They will speak to sellers and their agents on your behalf and help you submit offers on homes you're interested in. They will also clear up any questions you have in the negotiation process. Now, imagine you're making an offer on a home that requires some repairs. Your agent can try and negotiate the sellers to make the repairs themselves, or potentially give you money back in the transaction to help you pay for those repairs when you move in. Now, as the buyer, you might even prefer the sellers giving you money back so you can make sure the repairs are done to your satisfaction. Seller concessions is money that the seller agrees to give back to the buyer to help cover repairs or even closing costs. You must make the request for seller concessions, and the seller has the option to accept, reject, or make a counter offer to you by offering to pay a portion of what you are asking for. Now, negotiations can be complicated because each transaction is different, and having a real estate agent who is trained as a professional negotiator is what you will want in your corner. Your agent will also have the wisdom of their brokerage behind them who will fight for your best interests. And in the end, your agent will advise you, but you as the buyer will approve all final decisions. To recap how to buy a home, number 1, save for a down payment and closing costs. Number 2, get pre-qualified and pre-approved. Number 3, hire a real estate agent. Now, I am a licensed real estate agent in California. If you're looking to buy or sell in California and would like to interview me to potentially become your real estate agent, well, reach out to set up an initial Zoom call to explore that possibility, or we can meet in person. My contact information is in the description below. I look forward to speaking with you. And if you're specifically looking to buy in the San Gabriel Valley, check out this video on the best things about living in San Gabriel Valley. I'll see you in the next video. Now go and surprise someone with a kind gesture.